basically whenever something gives you intense emotion or feelings, but you don't really want to name it, so you end up just saying, oh, right in the feels, or something like that.
A ship is short for a relationship. It's the two people that you would like to see become romantically involved with each other.
Ps are your one true pairing or your one true ship, and it's basically the pairing that you always end up like crying over, wanting to be together, whatever.
When I think of the word fandom, I think of, nerdy things like comics, anime, really anything that people freak out to in a collective group. For fanboy and fangirl, I think it depends on the group that you're in. Fangirls, especially in anime, tend to be more accepted, especially if you're watching like really girly type animes, and usually they're associated with the gay shippers and the fan fiction people, and fanboys are definitely more acceptable in comics or towards like hot female actresses in, like Marvel movies. Like you can be a Scarlett Johansson fanboy and that's perfectly fine. For fandoms, I am a part of a lot of anime fandoms. I'm really like Hitalia, Attack on Titan. I mean, Kingdom Hearts isn't an anime, but it's part of that, so it's like a video game. It's one of my favorites. I really like Supernatural and, Doctor Who, Sherlock, all of that stuff. When I first started off, I started off role playing with my friends, writing stories together. Then I started writing fan fiction, moved on to Tumblr, and I participate and at least try to go to a con every couple of years. I've been to Zenkai Con, first when it started off in the King of Prussia area, then it moved to here in the Lancaster area, and I've gone to the big anime convention, basically the equivalent of the San Diego Comic-Con for anime fans, which is Otakon, which is in Baltimore. I haven't been to a Comic-Con yet, no. I do plan to go to a Comic-Con soon, the big SDCC. I have family out there, so I'm hoping I'll be able to stay there or go to Philly or New York Comic Con if I'm not able to. I and others probably self-identify as weebs or weeaboos, which is it's kind of like the term how nerd used to be, where nerd was a bad term. Now people are starting to accept it as a good thing, but weeaboos are those that are really obsessed with Japanese culture, Japanese like anime, but it's to the point where in anime there's certain terms that they say in shows like desu, kawaii, blah blah, and it's mostly you think of 12-year-olds running around throwing ninja stars going, I'm kawaii desu moemo, and you're just like, oh, okay there, buddy. I mean, you can be considered part of different fandoms, like Paramore has a fandom. I think Nirvana would have a fandom. I don't know if it's just people being part of the grunge fandom, because that's also a thing. But yeah, I would say I'm part of that.
Whenever I hear the word fandom, I tend to think of nerdy stuff like books, video games, TV shows, movies, that sort of thing. I am a part of a lot of fandoms, as you can kind of see with what's back here. I think my biggest one would have to be Mass Effect, video game franchise. Absolutely love it. My little friend here. Other ones are Marvel Comics, Vikings, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, of course. But yeah, there's a lot. I'm definitely part of more than one fandom. Just listed off a whole bunch, and I would find it hard to be in just one. Like, I can't devote myself to just one thing. Gotta have a lot of different things. Just have a lot of interests, like everything from sci-fi, killing aliens, to motorcycle gangs like Sons of Anarchy. And with certain things, like my video game shows that I like, I'll go on to, say, Tumblr and interact with other fans, like, hey, did you like this part of the game? Or did you see what happened in last night's episode? Then other things, I like maybe talk to my friends while I'm playing certain video games, like, dude, are you the same part I am? I have not been to Comic-Con, but that is definitely on my bucket list for at least once. I want to go to San Diego Comic-Con, the big one, and see how much fun it is. Relating with other fans who like the same thing you do, there is sort of that familial bond depending on the fandom. Like, I know for people who play Mass Effect, there's like that automatic connection because we're all Commander Shepard. We've all gone through the same decisions. But then other fandoms just like, wow, you have a completely different view of this than I do, and I don't exactly agree.
I would say that fandom to me means a group of people who are not just interested in something but have dedicated themselves to it in a way that separates them from, say, casual observers or casual fans. Fandom to me means someone who has taken the time to really learn about the kind of minutia, the inner workings of whatever television show or book or film that we're talking about. So they understand it on a level and in a way that the average person not only doesn't understand it, but perhaps in a way that the average person isn't even interested in understanding it. I think that for me, the way that I participate in fandom tends to be, I like to watch and sometimes rewatch episodes of my favorite shows. I like to engage my friends in kind of these intellectual discussions about what the meanings and the subtext of these episodes are, what potential alternative narratives are being brought about within the shows and the books, that sort of thing. So Wizard World does a Comic-Con in Philadelphia every year, right around, usually it's right around the end of May, beginning of June. This year it's going to be like I think May 6th or 7th through the 9th or 10th. But I've gone there for the past 3 or 4 years, and I try to meet some of the actors and producers and writers that have worked on either my favorite shows or movies, or have artists and writers from different comic books that I'm interested in. I just like to be able to go up to them and tell them thank you for giving their time and their talent to this project that means so much to me. And then I put all of these photographs on my walls so that it livens up the room a little bit.
Kill him. I'd say at the moment Scandal is my current #1 fandom. But I'm also heavily a part of the Hunger Games fandom, and I most recently started the show Homeland, so I have a feeling that will also be a major fandom that I will take part in. My first fandom was Alias. Alias is a show about a spy named Sydney Bristow, and I was immediately drawn because her name was Sydney, and that was big to me because I rarely found anyone with the same name as me, and I just fell in love with the show. I say fan culture is becoming more increasingly popular is because people are becoming less ashamed to showcase that they are a huge nerd over something. I feel like this is the generation that just does not care about what people think about them. So like back in the day, people used to like make fun of people that like Star Trek or Trekkies or stuff like that. But now, I feel like it's becoming more popular. Like I have friends who are still obsessed with Pokemon. I have friends that are like my age that are still obsessed with wrestling. It's just they just don't care because they feel as though that they don't have anyone to please but themselves, and they're just going to make themselves happy. I say my most memorable fangirl moment would be when Tony Goldwyn responded to me on Twitter. That was a big moment for me because I wasn't really even expecting a tweet back because I have the tweet pulled up right now. I had tweeted on March 7th, 2014, I had tweeted, Liv's not sure of her feelings, Tom's a snitch, is there anyone that fits Kendrut's? And I said, at Tony Goldwyn. And then he responded back, that's what I'm saying. And It was awesome. I got a T-shirt made with that tweet. um, it was just a really good day because that was the second time that a celebrity had responded back. The fandom that I have the most merchandise from would have to be Alias. I have books. Um, I have the books. I have the DVDs. I have all the seasons on DVD. In fact, I have the individual seasons on DVD, and I also have the Rambaldi box on DVD, which is all seasons 1 through 5. I have some Alias magazines. I have the pilot script, which is autographed by everyone. I have, and on my walls in my room, I have some Alias posters. I have an Alias calendar that's from 2006, but I still have it hanging in my room. It's falling down though, so I recently bought a new one, which is also still from 2006. I have I have some things like I would doodle on my books, on my folders. I have the Rambaldi symbol. I have things that people made me, but and also for other fandoms, I have like my roommate. She got me the Scandal calendar, and I plan on hanging that up. Um, I have a Grant for President T-shirt, which is Scandal. For Homeland, I recently got the DVDs. Um, so yeah, you could say I have a lot of merchandise.
I would definitely explore your options, really try to get into something first before going out there, especially when you go to cons. People can be really judgmental about, oh, well, I'm the true fan. I watched this when it came out back in like 2009 and things like that. So I'd research and know your stuff. And then as well, try to find like cool people.
I'd say to anyone who wants to join a fandom is to try and get immersed in it on your own, like explore that thing on your own, do your own research, and then try and interact with other fans. Because there are certain fandoms where if you jump in too quickly, it can seem really intense. There are weird people in every fandom, and it's better to make sure you like the thing before you find other people who do, because it can be a little overwhelming.